Hi everyone! Have you ever experienced frustrating art block? I got you. Let's go. If you're new here, my name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I've done a couple of videos in the past about tips to combat art block, and I'll link those in the description box below. But today I thought I would take you through another one of my tips for if you're experiencing art block, or even if you just want to fill up a sketchbook spread and you run out of ideas. This is a really great one to do. So let's go. All right, let's go. Got the coffee, grab your sketchbook, grab your favorite supplies. I'm going to use the Blackwing Palomino pencil. I love this graphite pencil. Going to give it a sharpen and get ready for the day. I'll link all my supplies in the description box below as well. We're going to pop on Cowboy Carter because that's just what we do. And we're going to open up Pinterest. Now, I've been using Pinterest a lot more this year than ever before. And that's, I think, because I've been doing this sketch a day little sketchbook. And I've been posting those videos to shorts every day. So go check those out. But I've been getting ideas and references for those little warm-up sketches from Pinterest. And then recently I just completed the 100 heads challenge, which I did in 5 days, and I used Little Star Nerd's Pinterest board for that. And so all those things are swirling around in my brain, and I got to thinking, what if I do a sketchbook spread that is just drawing the things that are recommended to me on the Pinterest homepage? Because they're not references that I've seen before generally, and they're things that are relevant to me through previous searches. So they're going to be things that I'm interested in. And I thought this could be a fun little way to get out of a rut. So that's what I did. And I found that with the 100 Heads challenge, when you have all the references already picked out for you, then it's a lot easier to just sit down at the page and make something rather than trying to search for the perfect reference or the things that fit the sort of vibe you're going for. You can just sit down and just start doing it. So I grabbed a fine liner and just went over that sketch, and then I wanted to add some color, so I added some of my Crayola super tip markers. I just picked out a limited color palette, and I've also been really inspired by song lyrics lately. So what I've been doing is the illustration and then adding a lyric from a song as a design element. And because I've been listening to Cowboy Carter nonstop, all of these song lyrics that I added were from songs on Cowboy Carter that were playing at the time that I was sketching. So while I was sketching this piece, I was listening to Daughter. So I added a lyric from Daughter to this drawing. And I've always been inspired visually, like by movies. I'm heavily inspired by TV and film. Anytime I watch a movie that I connect with, I just want to draw all the characters. But I've never really had a sort of visual inspiration and connection to words. I love reading and I love music, and they all make me feel a lot of different things. But there's something in my brain, and I'm not sure if anybody else can relate to this, but I find it easier to draw something that I have a visual reference for. But yeah, that's all changing with this. And you'll notice on my Pinterest homepage, there's some artwork and there's a picture of Chris Cornell, and I purposefully didn't choose those. I wanted to just use photo reference. One, because I don't want to recreate somebody else's painting and artwork. And with the Chris Cornell, I'm actually working on a painting of him at the moment. So I didn't feel like I wanted to add him in. I wanted to do some sort of new things. And I've just done a portrait of Chris Cornell in my sketchbook recently with crayons, and I made a video about it. So I'll link that up above. So I truly think that the way that words are sort of interacting more with my artwork is because of the zine that I'm making. And I've just launched my fourth issue to my Ko-fi members, and I'll take this opportunity to thank you all now for your support. Love you all, adore you. You're the greatest. And that's all linked below the different tiers. But having a place where I'm mixing art and photography and words and a playlist, all of that has sort of had an impact on the other art I'm making outside of the zine. And it's super exciting. So while this video is an art block tip using your Pinterest homepage as reference and just drawing whatever comes up to stretch yourself, another tip would be to make art in a completely different medium. Now, I'm not saying to run out and buy a bunch of new supplies and try new supplies, because although trying new art supplies is also a great way to bust out of your regular thinking, most people, we can't afford to be running out and buying new things. So when I say a new medium, I mean like grab a bunch of old magazines and cut them up and make a collage, or make a zine. There's tons of resources online. I plan to make a video about making a zine, but I haven't yet, but you can find tons of resources, and I'll link some down below in the description box. But if you want to make a zine, you really need like one sheet of printer paper, a pair of scissors, and some pens, and you can get it copied at your local library. Like, it doesn't have to be a big, expensive production, and it can get you thinking in a whole different way. So that's a little extra add on here. And I think I've been getting a lot of inspiration from that, from just making something completely different to what I've ever made before. So, yeah, I encourage you to jump out of your comfort zone and try something new with all the supplies that you already have, all the things that are already lying around your house. And let me know how you go. So now we're starting on the second page. And I saw this reference pop up and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to do that one because it's just like a close-up of the features, but I think it actually really worked on the top of this page. And it's interesting because I was listening to Cowboy Carter, and like I said before, whatever song was playing when I was drawing it, I used a line, a lyric from that song on the illustration, and they all just seemed to fit with the pieces that I made. It was crazy. And then the next up was a hand, and I've spoken about this before, but I love practicing hands, so I was really happy that this one was on there. I have a whole hand reference board on my Pinterest saved. I'll actually link my Pinterest down below. I don't usually link my Pinterest, but I'll link that down below because I've got tons of different boards for all different moods and that sort of thing. Echo decided it was time that we had to take a break. So we took a break. She was literally on my pencil. Yeah, I've got boards for hand reference and all sorts of things. So check that out if you're wanting to have a look at some of the things that I've curated for myself to practice. And even just using those rather than your Pinterest homepage, because what I search for might be completely different to what you do. So even if you go through my Pinterest boards, that's maybe something that will get you out of your art block and seeing things in a different way. So there's another little tip that you can use. So as you can see through here, I just sketched out the pieces in graphite, went over that with a fine liner, freehanded the text with the fine liner as well. And then I used the super tip markers to outline the illustration and then add the little starbursts behind the letters. And then luckily, I had little kitty cats come up next. So I also have a cat reference board. Please check it out. It is adorable. So I drew this little kitty cat, and there was two photos on the one pin, and I ended up doing both of them. I was only going to do one, but there was a little bit extra space on the page. My hands were cramping so bad. This was right at the end of the day, and doing all these lines for this fur, I had to like really stretch out my fingers and take a little break. I was like, oh, there's still so much to go. And I made myself push through. I mean, it didn't have to be a black cat. It was a black cat. It's more like a grey stripy cat. Yeah, so I just did the other reference, just a little small one to add it in to the corner of the page there. But I love cats. I think you all know that. And they're always super cute to draw. And I love this little pose, this little half stretch this one was in. So I had to add this one. But yeah, my hands really needed a break after these two. And then I just added in the lyrics around the edge. And it's actually been really fun just sort of freehanding these and making them sort of fit around the pictures, because I don't really have an idea about where I'm going to place the words until I'm doing it. And I just let myself do it instinctually. And I haven't made a spelling mistake yet, which is weird, or messed up a letter yet. So I probably will now that I've put that out into the world. And for this page, I picked a different set of colors, but I used the same colors for each of the drawings. And we're done. So the first lyric there was Summer Fling Saw Your Best Side from Two Hands to Heaven. And then we have All the Tears I Fight from 16 Carriages. I Am Colder Than Titanic Water from Daughter. Now I draw right to left because I'm left-handed and it prevents smudging, so that's why I do that. Can We Stand for Something from American Requiem. Be Fond of Your Flaws, Dear from My Rose, which is far too short in my opinion. I Came Here for a Reason, but I Don't Know the Purpose from Just for Fun. And that is the finished sketchbook spread. So I hope this has given you a few different ideas to try out and some inspiration for your next sketchbook spread. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I do lots of other sketchbook things and art subscription box unboxings, stuff like that. I hope this gave you some ideas and inspired you. I've done a couple of spreads like this now and I am absolutely loving this idea. and combining my favorite song lyrics with little illustrations, and it's super, super fun. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.